Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam jumpa dan salam sejahtera. Halo sahabat, apa kabar Anda? Senang sekali saya Ilham Dianta kembali hadir menemani Anda dalam Airlangga Forum, podcast interaktif produksi Sekolah Pascasarjana Universitas Airlangga. Dan sahabat, acara ini bisa Anda saksikan seperti biasanya melalui kanal YouTube kami, yaitu Sekolah Pascasarjana UNAIR dan Arek TV setiap hari Jumat mulai jam 3 sore. Dan kali ini memasuki di episode yang ke-282, Airlangga Forum akan mengajak Anda untuk sejenak menyimak dan memahami tentang isu yang cukup menarik perhatian, yaitu tentang adaptasi iklim dan lingkungan. Isu ini menjadi salah satu subjek pembahasan dalam agenda tahunan Sekolah Pascasarjana Universitas Airlangga, yaitu Summer School 2026 yang digelar beberapa waktu yang lalu. Dan sahabat, adanya perubahan cuaca ekstrim dan kerusakan alam merupakan poin penting mengapa kita harus mampu beradaptasi. Ini karena berguna untuk melindungi nyawa manusia, juga untuk menjaga ketersediaan makanan dan air bersih, serta untuk mengurangi kerugian harta benda akibat bencana. Bagi kita, contoh sederhananya adalah dengan menerapkan gaya hidup yang lebih ramah lingkungan, seperti misalnya dengan mengurangi perilaku konsumtif. Ini karena perilaku konsumtif berkontribusi terhadap meningkatnya produksi limbah dan emisi. Seperti mengonsumsi makanan berlebihan yang memicu food waste, kemudian produksi pakaian yang menghasilkan limbah tekstil, hingga penggunaan plastik sekali pakai. Dan sahabat, tentu aktivitas seperti ini makin memperburuk lingkungan yang sudah tercemar. Bagi mereka yang peduli terhadap pelestarian lingkungan, menjaga dan merawat bumi merupakan hal pokok yang harus digiatkan. Misalnya dengan pengelolaan sampah, kemudian penghematan energi, penanaman pohon, perlindungan satwa, serta edukasi masyarakat tentang bagaimana mengelola sampah yang benar. Namun sahabat, sejumlah kendala seringkali kita hadapi, misalnya terjadinya deforestasi, kemudian penumpukan sampah plastik, kurangnya kesadaran masyarakat, dan perubahan iklim global yang cukup ekstrim. Lantas apa yang harus kita lakukan? Nah, untuk mengetahui jawabannya, mari kita ikuti pembahasan yang cukup menarik tentang isu lingkungan ini dalam Airlangga Forum edisi yang ke-282 dengan tema Minimalis versus Konsumtif. Seberapa jauh belanjaan kita merusak bumi, bersama dengan sejumlah narasumber. Yang pertama ada Profesor Dr. Ahmad Husnul Romdhoni, Dokter Spesialis Ph.D. Subspesialis Onkologi Konsultan FICS selaku Direktur Sekolah Pascasarjana Universitas Airlangga. Kemudian ada Profesor Mochammad Amin Alamsjah Insinyur M.Si Ph.D. selaku Wakil Rektor Bidang Akademik, Kemahasiswaan dan Alumni Universitas Airlangga. Dan yang terakhir ada Bapak Diaz Faisal Malik Hendro Priyono, M.Sc, M.P.A, M.B.A, M.A, Ph.D, selaku Wakil Menteri Lingkungan Hidup Republik Indonesia. Dan sahabat, tayangan ini kami ambil dari kegiatan The Sixth Summer School 2026 yang mengusung tema Strategies for Climate Adaptation and Disaster Risk Reduction from a Multidisciplinary Perspective. Selamat menyaksikan.
Who join us from Zoom? Thank you. And Direktur Universitas Airlangga, who represented by Vice Rektor for Academic, Student, and Alumni Affairs, Profesor Mochammad Amin Alamsjah, Insinyur M.Si Ph.D. Thank you, Prof. Amin. The region of Pasuruan, Mr. Muhammad Rusdi Tejo, who is represented by Bapak Saifuddin. Terima kasih, Bapak. Major of Surabaya, Bapak Eri, who is represented by Dr. Ihsan M.Si, MM, Inspector of City Government of Surabaya. Terima kasih, Pak. The region of Lamongan, Bapak Dr. Zuhronur Effendi, M.B.A, who is represented by Dr. Sujarwo, St. MT. Belum hadir ya? Okay. The official from the Ministry of Environment and the Environmental Control Agency of the Republic Indonesia, Mr. Ari Sugasri SH, M.P.A, Kepala Biro SDMO, okay. Terima kasih Pak Ari. Bapak Edward Huta P.H., SSI MH, terima kasih. The Head of East Java Provincial Regional Disaster Management Agency, BPPD Provinsi Jawa Timur, Mr. Gatot Subroto, belum hadir, okay. Deputy Chairman of Indonesia Chamber of Commerce and Industry Kadin in East Java Province, Mr. Fitra Jaya Purnama. Masih Pak Fitra. Head of Surabaya City Regional Disaster Management Agency, BPPD Kota Surabaya, Mr. Irfan Widianto, AMP Esos MH. Okay. Oh. Terima kasih Pak. Head of Surabaya City Regional Research and Innovation Agency, Brida Kota Surabaya, Dr. Agus Imam Son Haji ST MT. Our distinguished international instructors, Professor Victor Diomin from National Research Tomsk State University, Russia. Thank you, Prof. Victor. Professor Dr. Biswajit Pradhan from University of Technology, Sydney. Thank you, Prof. Professor Vera Graufak Matasi from University of Zadar, Croatia. Okay. Professor Mayuko Saito from Tohoku University Graduate School of Medicine, Japan. Thank you. Associate Professor Robert Mikac from Zagreb, Croatia. Associate Professor Nutafikom Fantuwong Pakdi from Ph.D. from Thammasat University, Thailand. Associate Professor Dr. Mimi Diana Ghazali from University Technology Mara, UITM Malaysia. Thank you. Associate Professor Afiradi Wongsiri, PhD from Konkan University, Thailand. Thank you. Associate Professor Bonmi Intakeson, PhD from National University, Laos. Dr. Swikar Lama from National Forensic Science University, India. Thank you. Dr. Najib Norasid from University Brunei Darussalam, Brunei Darussalam. Thank you. Dr. Nurliati Fitri Muhammad Nur from University Sains Malaysia. Thank you. The valued sponsor, Properindo Enviro Technology, PT, Miss Azimah Ulia. Thank you, terima kasih Bu. Kopi Pujen. Terima kasih Bu Juansi, Bu Jenderal. And also from Petrokimia Kayaku, from Cheers and Garuda Food Indonesia. Thank you for supports. Our esteemed coordinator study programs, thank you for coming. Our lecturers and all the dear participants and the committee, good morning and warm greetings to everyone. It is my great pleasure on behalf of the Postgraduate School, Universitas Airlangga, to warmly welcome you all to the 6th Summer School 2026. And the topic today is Resilient Futures, Multidisciplinary Strategies for Climate Adaptation and Disaster Risk Reduction. We are truly delighted to welcome 162 participants from 41 countries around the world, from Afghanistan. Is there Afghanistan? Thank you. From Algeria, Australia, Bangladesh, okay, from Chad, from Comoros, from Egypt, thank you, from Ethiopia, from Guinea, okay, from Ghana, from India, from Italy, Thank you. From Kazakhstan? Thank you. From Kenya? Thank you. From Kyrgyzstan? Okay, from Madagascar? From Malawi? From Malaysia? Thank you. From Mali? Okay. From New Zealand? Thank you. From Nigeria? Okay. From Pakistan? Wow. Yeah, the big delegates. Thank you. From Palestine? From Philippines? Thank you. From Russia? Okay. From Rwanda? From Sierra Leone? Okay. From Somalia? From South Sudan? From Sri Lanka? Okay. From Sudan? Okay. From Taiwan? Thank you. From Tajikistan? From Tanzania? Wow, thank you so much. From the Gambia? Timor-Leste? Thank you. From Uganda? From Uzbekistan? Thank you. From Yemen? And also, yeah, from Indonesia. Yeah, all the students from the postgraduate school, Universitas Airlangga, thank you. And very special welcome goes to our international instructors and experts who have joined us and dedicated their valuable time to sharing knowledge, experience, and global perspective. Your presence makes this summer school a truly international and meaningful academic gathering. The Postgraduate School of Universitas Airlangga is a multidisciplinary academic institution. Currently, there are 7 master's programs: Master of Human Resource Development, Master of Science in Law and Development, Master of Immunology, Master of Forensic Science, Master of Police Science, Master of Disaster Management, and Master of Health Economic. And there are 2 doctoral programs. The first is Doctor in Human Resource Development, and the second is Doctor in Law and Development. Bringing together diverse perspectives across discipline to address complex challenges facing society, this multidisciplinary character is at the heart of this year's summer school. Climate change and increasing disaster risk cannot be addressed through a single discipline, institution, of country. Therefore, through academic discussion, multidisciplinary learning, simulation, and field-based experiences, this program connects perspective from science, public policy, infrastructure, technology, governance, and society. We hope this summer school will inspire critical thinking, innovative ideas, and concrete outputs such as policy briefs, short papers, and collaborative initiative. In line with our vision to strengthen the postgraduate school as a world-class school of collaborative leadership and policy hub that connects research, innovation, community development, and meaningful policy impact. On this special occasion, I would like to express our sincere gratitude to all our partners, particularly the government of Pasuruan Regency, the government of Surabaya, and the government of Lamongan Regency. as well as our partner universities and partner institution, East Java Provincial Regional Disaster Management Agency, BPBD Provinsi Jawa Timur, BPBD Kota Surabaya, and BRIDA Kota Surabaya, and all of our valued sponsors. Your trust, support, and collaboration are essential to the success of this program. Our deepest appreciation also goes to the organizing committee, Pak Ijra and friends, faculty members, staff, and everyone working behind the scenes. We sincerely hope that the partnership we have built will continue and grow far beyond this summer school, opening new opportunities for collaboration in education, research, community engagement, policy innovation, and other meaningful initiatives. May our cooperation bring mutual benefits, strengthen our institution, and create positive and lasting impact for our communities and society. Finally, to all participants, I encourage you to enjoy every moment of this journey, learn from one another, share your perspectives, build friendships, and create meaningful connection across countries and disciplines. We hope you will leave this program not only with new knowledge, but also with new networks, new inspiration, and shared commitment to building a more resilient future. Once again, welcome to Universitas Airlangga, welcome to East Java, and welcome to the 6th Summer School 2026. May this program be productive, inspiring, memorable, and beginning of many collaboration in the years ahead. Together stronger and impactful with School of Collaborative Leadership. Thank you, and I wish you all a wonderful summer school. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Professor Ahmad Husnu Romdhoni, for your inspiring opening speech.
Next, we would like to invite the Rector of Universitas Airlangga. In this occasion is represented by the Vice Rector of Academic, Student and Alumni Affairs of Universitas Airlangga, Professor Dr. Muhammad Amin Alamsjah, to deliver the opening remarks and officially open the 6th summer school. Please join me in welcoming him, Professor Muhammad Amin Alamsjah.
Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin wassalatu wassalamu ala sayyidina Muhammadin al-ummi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Firstly, I would like to express my deep gratitude to Deputy Minister of Environment, Mr. Diaz Faisal Malik Hendro Priyono, Ph.D., Major of Surabaya, Dr. Eri Cahyadi, represented by Dr. Iksan, and then Region of Pasuruan, Bapak Haji Muhammad Rusdi Sutejo, Major of Probolinggo, Bapak Haji Aminuddin, Direktur of Postgraduate School UNAIR, Professor Dr. Ahmad Romdhoni, and then distinguished speakers and experts, esteemed college from partner university and institution, faculty members, researchers, students, and participants joining us from Indonesia and around the world. I hope we always get healthy and kindness. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great pleasure to welcome all of you to Universitas Airlangga for the 6th Summer School on the Resilient Future, Multidisciplinary Strategies for Climate Adaptation and Disaster Risk Reduction. On behalf of the Rektor of Universitas Airlangga, Professor Muhammad Madian, who is unable to be with us today, I would like to extend his warm greetings and best wishes for a successful summer school. Thank you for choosing to spend the next few days learning, exchanging ideas, and building new partners with us. Your presence reflects something increasingly important in higher education today, the understanding that the world's most pressing challenge can only be addressed when knowledge travels across disciplines, institutions, and national borders. ladies and gentlemen, the climate change is no longer a distant projection discussed on the scientific report, but is experienced in our daily lives through rising temperatures, more frequent extreme weather events, declining biodiversity, food insecurity, displacement of communities, and growing pressures on healthcare system. Likewise, disasters are no longer isolated emergencies that begin and end with immediate response. They reveal resilience or vulnerability for our infrastructure, our institution, our economies, and ultimately our societies. This is why the theme of this summer school is both timely and significant. Climate adaptation and disaster risk reduction require ingenious working alongside epidemiologists, environmental scientists, collaborating with economists, policy experts, learning from data scientists, and healthcare professionals engaging with local communities. University therefore have a responsibility not simply to generate knowledge, but to create environments where these conversations can happen, where students, researchers, and practitioners learn to appreciate perspective beyond their own field. At Universitas Airlangga, we often speak about excellence with morality. For us, this is not merely an institutional slogan, but it reflects a simple conviction. Academic excellence becomes truly meaningful only when it serves humanity. Scientific discoveries, technological innovation, and policy research achieve their greatest value when they contribute to healthier communities, more sustainable development, and greater resilience for those who need it most. This commitment also shapes the way we view international partnership. Today's global challenges are too complex for any university or any nation and to solve independently. Meaningful progress depends on network of trust, openness, and shared learning. We see international collaboration not simply as institutional cooperation, but as community of scholars committed to solving problems so that effect of all of us, regardless of geography. I hope this during the summer school, you will find opportunities not only to expand your knowledge, but also to establish collaboration that continue well beyond this week through this joint research, student exchange, interdisciplinary project, and lifelong professional friendship. Allow me also to express my sense of appreciation to the postgraduate School of Universitas Airlangga, the organizing committee or international partners, speakers, facilitators, and every individual whose dedication has made this summer school possible. Ladies and gentlemen, the future we often discuss is not something waiting for us ahead. So it inspire new ideas, encourage meaningful collaboration, and strengthen our collective commitment to building societies that not only more resilient, but also more equitable and more sustainable. With that hope, and by saying Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, it's my pleasure to officially declare the 6th Summer School on Resilient Future, Multidisciplinary Strategies for Climate Adaptation and Disaster Risk Reduction open. May God bless us and we gain success in our step. Thank you very much for your attention. Wa muwafiq ila al-tariq. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Professor Muhammad Amin, for officially opening the 6th Summer School.
Ladies and gentlemen, we shall now proceed to our highly anticipated first keynote speech. We are deeply honored to welcome the Deputy Minister of Environment, Deputy Head of the Environmental Control Agency of the Republic of Indonesia, Mr. Diaz Faisal Malik Hendro Priyono, Ph.D., who will share his insights with us today via Zoom. Without further ado, let us now invite together Mr. Diaz Faisal Malik Hendro Priyono to deliver his keynote speech.
Sebagai Wakil Menteri Lingkungan Hidup RI sejak Oktober 2024, staf khusus Presiden, staf khusus Menko Polhukam, anggota tim transisi PSSI Kemenpora, dan anggota Dewan Analis Strategis Badan Intelijen Negara. Di sektor swasta, dia saat ini menjabat sebagai Komisaris Utama Telkomsel dan pernah menjabat di berbagai perusahaan TBK termasuk Multivision Plus, TBK, T.H.T.B.K.L, dan TOTM Technologies Limited di Singapura, Komisaris BUMN Pertamina Gas, dan perusahaan tech startup seperti Restock.id, si cepat Express. Selain itu, Diaz juga pernah bekerja di perusahaan yang bergerak di berbagai bidang, mulai dari perkapalan, olahraga, perhotelan, pertambangan, remittance, perdagangan, frozen, seafood, sampai penjualan mobil. Di Washington, D.C., Diaz pernah bekerja sebagai peneliti di sebuah think tank ternama, yaitu RAND Corporation, dan sebagai junior lobbyist. Selain itu, Diaz terlibat di berbagai organisasi termasuk seperti HKTI dengan Bapak Prabowo Subianto sebagai Ketua Dewan Pembina, Asosiasi Biochar yang dipimpin oleh Bapak Hashim Joyo Hadikusumo, Asosiasi Ekosistem Mobilitas Listrik FKPPI, Asosiasi Musisi seperti Yayasan Anugerah Musik Indonesia dan PAPPRI, dan Asosiasi E-Sport seperti PB E-Sports Indonesia dan Indonesia E-Sports Association. Dalam bidang politik, Diaz pernah menduduki kursi Ketua Umum Partai Keadilan dan Persatuan Indonesia atau PKPI, anggota Dewan Penasihat, Tim Kampanye Nasional Jokowi Maruf Amin, Koordinator Relawan Jokowi Yusuf Kala, pendiri organisasi Relawan Muda Kawan Jokowi, relawan Tim Kampanye Jokowi Ahok, dan sebagai relawan pendukung Timothy Romer dalam pencalonan Ketua Umum Partai Demokrat Amerika Serikat. Diaz adalah pendiri dari sebuah gerakan sosial anak muda #DengarYangMuda dan sebagai co-founder dari Perkumpulan Anak Muda Indonesia dan Malaysia. Diaz Hendro Priyono telah menyelesaikan pendidikan di berbagai strata termasuk Doctor of Philosophy Ph.D. Bidang Administrasi Negara dari Virginia Tech, Master of Public Administration M.P.A. dari Virginia Tech, Master of Arts M.A. dan Master of Business Administration M.B.A. dari Hawaii Pacific University, Bachelor of Science B.Sc dari Norwich Military University, Associate of Arts dari Broward College, dan pendidikan Lemhanas PPRA 49. Diaz memiliki sertifikasi profesi bidang komite audit bidang manajemen risiko dan telah mengikuti pendidikan pengawasan perusahaan dari Singapore Institute of Directors. Selain itu, Diaz mengikuti pendidikan militer US Army Reserve ROTC selama 4 bulan dan mengikuti pendidikan dasar penggunaan senjata dari US National Rifle Association. Diaz telah menerima beberapa penghargaan seperti Satya Lencana Wirakarya dari Presiden Republik Indonesia, The Indonesia Green Award, dan penghargaan akademis seperti Gamma Beta Phi, Phi Kappa Phi, Delta Mu Delta, dan Dean's List. Diaz Hendro Priyono merupakan penulis dari sebuah buku yang menjelaskan mengenai ancaman perubahan iklim berjudul Dangerous Humans dan produser sekaligus sutradara dari sebuah film dokumenter berjudul Dangerous Humans. Diaz juga pernah memiliki sebuah YouTube channel yaitu Mas Bos Podcast. Diaz merupakan keturunan tokoh Banjarmasin, Raden Ronggo Abdurrahman Tumenggung Surya Kasumah, hobi bermain gitar, dan memiliki sebuah album yang tidak pernah dipublikasi. Sudah menikah, memiliki 3 anak dan 2 Pembroke Welsh Corgi.
Isu perubahan iklim menjadi salah satu isu yang kian memanas. Saat ini bumi menjadi rumah yang rapuh untuk dihuni,
di mana suhu bumi ini semakin meningkat menjadi lebih panas dan juga bisa menyebabkan perubahan iklim.
Kita sering menganggap bahwa perilaku hidup kita biasa-biasa saja, seperti tidak berdampak apapun. Penggunaan kendaraan pribadi yang berlebihan, makanan yang kita konsumsi, penggunaan plastik sekali pakai, pemborosan energi, membuang sampah sesuka hati, dan masih banyak lagi hal-hal yang kita lakukan setiap hari untuk merusak bumi kita sendiri.
Akan ada lebih banyak orang di bumi dan yang tinggal di bumi ini akan lebih lama. Kita butuh lebih banyak makanan, lebih banyak nutrisi, butuh air, butuh lahan, butuh udara bersih, tetapi lahan, air terbatas.
Kalau seperti ini terus, apakah bumi bisa bertahan? Jawabannya tentu tidak. Dunia perlu inovasi. Pertanyaannya, Indonesia sudah melakukan apa?
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi. Bagaimana suara saya bisa terdengarkah, Bapak-bapak, Ibu, teman-teman semua? Jelas ya? Oh, oke, terima kasih. Assalamualaikum, selamat pagi. Mohon maaf, Bapak-bapak, saya tidak bisa ke sana karena ini kita sudah mempersiapkan semua. Hanya tadi malam diberitahu bahwa akan ada sidang kabinet siang ini, sehingga perjalanan untuk ke sana tadi malam saya batalkan. Yang saya well, I think I have to conduct the presentation in English, so I didn't realize I was speaking in Bahasa. I would like to note the presence of some guests in the audience. First of all, this was Rektor Amin Alamsjah. Terima kasih Pak Amin atas undangannya. Pak Direktur Ahmad Romdhoni, terima kasih Pak. And also for all the participants from various countries. I hope you will enjoy Indonesia as much as I do. And how long is the program going to be? Di sana berapa lama ya? Beberapa hari tadi ya, saya dengar ya. Semoga menjadi pengalaman yang berharga. Well, I would like also to note the presence of some KLH officials from my ministry. Ada Pak Edo di sana. Pak Edo, mana? Bisa angkat tangan ya itu. Pak Edo. Pak Hari Sudarsa? Pak Hari nggak ada ya? Oh, pojok sana. Oh, itu mahasiswa juga kan Pak Hari. Sekarang lagi apa ya? You're also di Universitas Airlangga kan? Oh ya. Ya semoga nilainya ntar bagus, tidak mengecewakan ya Pak. Ya Pak, I think I have about 30 minutes to present my presentation, and I have already prepared some presentation slides. We can go back to the presentation, please. Ada staff saya di sana bisa nyalain presentasinya. Okay, go ahead to the second slide. So, jadi I'm going to start with this slide. So, if you were to elect our future, what do you think you have in mind? Would you imagine that there will be flying cars, virtual reality, space tourism, cyborgs, human cloning, or the fact that we can one day transfer our consciousness or our soul to a robot? It all comes from movies anyway. But what's next? Would you not say our future would be very much different from what we have imagined so far? Then none of those things would ever happen, and we're gonna be living on the water, or maybe under the water, or in the water. Lanjut. Next. Di sana ada Maira atau saya tidak or maybe we may live underground. Some of us may live there, and maybe some others will live in the land, inside the land, in a subterranean housing. Terus. But wherever we are, whether we live on water or in the water, on land or in the land, for sure there will be water shortage, food shortage, power outage, electrical outage. Pollution will be very bad, and we'll be living among piles and piles of trash. Emergency room would be something that is of a norm rather than an exception. Klik lagi. So why are we going towards this direction? Terus? Well, basically the things that we use today, from the laptops that we use, the cameras, the phones, and I will stop there. Are we reconnected? Are we back online? Okay, yeah. Okay, so basically the electricity that we use must come from somewhere, right? So basically it must come from fossil fuels, and the transportation we use from cars, motorcycles, and airplanes all produce CO2. And the food that we eat also, there's a lot of methane or CH4 that is generated from the agricultural sector, as well as the buildings that we are in. The cement, when it gets produced, it generates a lot of CO2. And I think I have to note that there's nothing wrong about producing things that we actually need. It becomes a concern when we produce excessively, because excessive production means excessive emissions. Lanjut. And all of these gases from CO2 and N2O and CH4 and 4 other fluorinated gases, as you know, I'm just repeating it, they all go up to the atmosphere, maybe between the stratosphere and troposphere, around 9 to 12 kilometers above us, and they would stay there for a very long time, and they would keep the heat from the Earth from escaping. So theoretically speaking, we get our heat from the sun. So the sun would give us heat every day, and a lot of that heat gets reflected back to space. But because of these gases called greenhouse gases, the heat wouldn't escape. It's unable to escape, and it would make the Earth warmer and warmer every day. Okay, next. Ini nggak bisa dikontrol dari sini aja, karena di sana ya. Huh? Oh, nggak muncul di sini. Yeah, basically, the world has gotten warmer, unfortunately, as the World Meteorological Organization has confirmed that the 3-year average, 23 and 25, would get about 1.44 degrees Celsius warmer than the pre-industrial level, or the years between 1850 and 1900. Next. And also a study by Climate Central. This is an institution in New Jersey. So they assign an index, a climate change index level 3 for 3 of our cities in Indonesia, meaning that the cities, Jakarta, Semarang, and Makassar, these cities are hot. The heat is there. It's not because of some natural phenomena. It's not because of solar cycle or what have you, but it's because of human-caused global warming or human-caused climate change. That's basically what this study means. Next. And I think this heat, this human-caused global warming, has affected us in so many ways. For example, Jaya Wijaya, dari saya kecil waktu itu selalu dibilang bahwa people used to tell me that there's a lot of apa namanya tuh salju abadi or eternal snow in Jaya Wijaya, but it seems like the eternal snow is no longer abadi, right? There was a measurement done back in 2010, and there was about 32 meters of snow in thickness in 2010. And by the end of 2022, another measurement was done, and it was only 4 meters thin. And that was only within a span of 12 years. Lanjut. And Maple Croft, it's a climate, it's a consulting firm from the UK. They said that by 2050, Indonesia will lose about 1,500 small-sized islands, and all of these islands would be submerged, would be underwater, and when the sea level rise is at around 56 centimeters, and by 2100, some additional 115 medium-sized islands would be underwater or would be submerged also, and at that time the sea level rise would be at least about 90 centimeters high. And another thing how it affects us is these water-related disasters, because human-caused global warming leads to more extreme heavy rainfall. So one might wonder, how come this global warming can lead to heavy rainfall? Well, again, theoretically speaking or scientifically speaking, warmer air would hold more water vapor. So every time you have an increase of 1 degree Celsius in the temperature, then that atmosphere would hold about 6 to 7% more moisture in the air. So the atmosphere is, it's thirstier of water. So there would be more water that comes out to the atmosphere through a process called evaporation. And when the time comes for it to rain, then you would have more water that comes down. And this is what happens again next. What happens in November of last year in Aceh, Sumatera Utara, dan juga in Sumatera Barat, when we had one of the worst hydrometeorological disasters that we've ever had. When the rainfall hits about at least 250 millimeters per day. So for a rain to be considered buruk, heavy, it falls between 50 and 100 millimeters per day. But we had at least 250 millimeters per day in Aceh at that time. Lanjut. And I think I have already mentioned that excessive production is bad because it leads to excessive emissions. But there's another thing that we have to note, that excessive production does not only lead to excessive emissions, but it also leads to excessive trash. It's very simple, because if you eat a lot, then you would have food waste, and then if you produce clothing, too many clothing would lead to fashion waste, and then too many use of single-use plastics, then you would have plastic waste and so on. And there's a whole new issue, a whole lot. It's a different problem. But also, we have to note that this waste, especially organic waste, that also generates greenhouse gas. For example, 1 ton of organic waste can generate about 50 kilograms of CH4. And with a potential, global warming potential of 34, that means to get the CO2 equivalent, you can multiply it by 34, and you get 1,700 kilograms of CO2. So every time you waste food and ends up in landfill, then 1 ton of organic waste could generate about 1.7 tons of CO2 that also contributes to greenhouse gas, because it accumulates up in the atmosphere that I mentioned before. Lanjut. And then that is only for 1.7 tons of CO2 from 1 ton of organic waste. And the amount of trash that we have is obviously more than just 1 ton. In Jakarta itself, the municipal solid waste generated every day, the amount is up to 9,000 tons per day. And out of that, only about 6,500 gets collected, and the rest is not collected, and it goes somewhere to the river and the jalan-jalan, TPS liar, illegal dump sites, and all that. And so we have in Jakarta about 9,000 tons per day of municipal solid waste that is being generated on a daily basis. And that is selain dari accumulated landfill waste. So the amount of waste that's been piled up in Bantar Gebang, in our landfill and T.P.A, it's already 91 million tons. And then you have this daily waste, which I prefer to call new waste and old waste. So these two are different problems that we have to deal with. And the amount of trash that sits in all landfills across the nation in Indonesia, now it's about 286 million tons. And that figure is pending for confirmation, because our first calculation that we did about 2 years ago, I think it was much more than that. And from all the waste that we generate every year as Indonesians, only about 25% of the trash gets managed. Only 25%. And the other 75% is just, I don't know where they end up. They mostly end up in landfills, but obviously most of them are unsorted and unmanaged. Lanjut. And I would like to note the danger or the risk of having this unsegregated waste in open dumping sites, because when you have lots of waste in those landfills, unsegregated, and it poses a significant fire hazard, and especially when we have El Nino that is coming. Well, actually, the El Nino is already here. It's just going to get worse in the next few months until maybe August or could be September. So it is very dangerous to have this unmanaged waste in landfills, like what happened a few weeks ago. I went to see this T.P.A. Jatiwaringin landfill. There was on fire because of the heat. And it's very hard to get the fire out, untuk memadamkannya karena apinya ada di bawah sampahnya. So there's a different method or different technique on how to put out T.P.A. fires. It's different from just a regular fire, because the fire is just underneath the mangrove. Dan mangrove satunya, peatland ya. Lanjut coba. And so we talk about this municipal solid waste that we generate, and some of them are, most of them are collected, although unsegregated and unsorted, and many of these waste also uncollected, and when they're uncollected, they will end up in open burning, in open dumping, in illegal dump sites, or bahasa Indonesia mungkin ada di TPS liar, kalau nggak diangkut ke T.P.A. Bantar Gebang, jadinya ke TPS liar or illegal dump sites, and they may end up in oceans or rivers. And when we look at our rivers today, I think it's a quite saddening. Coba klik lagi. Quite ini river dan pantai di Bali. So I think this was last year. So we have done a lot of beach cleanup and river cleanups for the past year. And it's just one example. When we were in Bali last time, I did the beach cleanup myself, and I could collect about 10 sacks, 10 karung for a half day worth of work. So maybe about 3-4 hours, and I got 10 karung of sampah already. So it's mostly plastic waste. And me and my team, we could gather about 77 tons of plastic waste in Bali, in Kedonganan. Tapi percuma aja, karena this trash comes every day, on a daily basis. Setelah diambil, dipungut, besoknya datang lagi, because this trash does not actually come from Bali. It comes from nearby islands, neighboring islands, from Java or what have you. So it comes to Bali almost every day. Jadi dibersihinnya datang lagi. And also, after we clean up the beach, then that 77 tons, last time we had a problem because there was no place to process the plastic waste. I mean, there was an organization, a startup called Eco Bali, but they are already at their peak capacity at 20 tons per day, and we had 77 tons only for a few hours, and not to mention the following day, and the following week, and what have you, so on. And our river juga kelihatannya juga mengenaskan lah ya. We did some river cleanups, and you can see a lot of strange animals there. Ada tikus mati, death threats, you have live monitor lizards, ada biawak hidup dan segala macam. Jadi kita sudah kenyang lah, sudah sampai sakit-sakit juga itu bersihin sungai. Lanjut. And then sometimes you can never imagine what you can find in our rivers. Hopefully this does not bikin bingung para mahasiswa asing nanti ya. But this is what happens with our river. You can see a lot of unique stuff, unique things, and from the river. Ada TV, ada macam-macam, ada kulkas, ada ini nggak tahu nih ngapain lagi buang furniture ke sana, terus bawanya kemana itu. Oke. Terus lanjut. Nah, tapi mungkin balik lagi. Kalau melihat balik river ini mengingatkan saya kepada peradaban kuno gitu ya. Ini kalau kita lihat peradaban kuno, we can bisa next. If you think of all the ancient civilizations where humans, where we first began as a society, at least we can think of 3 earliest human civilizations, or at least these are among the earliest ones, like Sumeria, ancient Egypt, and Harappa. They all began about 4,000 BC until 3,000 BC. Harappa, Indus Valley in India, some date it back to about 3,000 BC instead of the earlier one, 2,600 BC. But anyway, if you think of these early civilizations, what do you think that they have in common, right? And coba klik lagi. You would see that the commonality between them or among them is that they all thrive along the rivers. So the Sumerians in Mesopotamia, they thrive between the 2 rivers, Euphrates or Euphrates and Tigris, which is now in Baghdad in Iraq. And the ancient Egypt lived along the Nile River, and so was the Harappa. They thrive along the Indus Valley River in India. The same is true in our civilization in Indonesia, the Sriwijaya, and coba klik sekali lagi, Majapahit, semua juga hidupnya dekat sungai atau di sungai, dekat-dekat dengan wilayah sungai. And this shows us something, right? It shows that we cannot live far away from fresh water. Fresh water, river is our source of life. That is the point. Where we first began as civilization, why did we thrive along the river valleys? It's very, very simple, and you must be very gampang banget lah gitu, karena sudah pasti karena kita butuh air gitu kan. But the irony is that if we know this, how come we pollute our river today? How come we pollute the thing that we need the most, that our ancestors needed the most? We should know that we cannot live without fresh water, we cannot live without river, but we pollute the first, the most important thing that we need for our life. So, kesimpulannya sepertinya saya bisa bilang bahwa it seems that we are nggak mau bilang ini, tapi seperti bunuh diri gitu ya. Kita tahu bahwa kita butuh air, tapi kok ya sungai kita kayak gitu tadi, sungai lautnya dibuat seperti itu. Jadi itu kayak kita harus sebodoh apa gitu. Are we that stupid for us to destroy something that we actually need? Are we that stupid as humans? Coba lanjut. Nah, karena itu impact-nya sudah kemana-mana karena improper waste management. So all the fish that we eat have been polluted by trash, by micro or macro plastics, or not maybe macro, but microplastics and even nanoplastics. And the water that we drink and the air that we breathe, ini semua microplastics or nanoplastik yang lebih kecil ya, karena lebih dari bawah 1 nanometer. Ini sudah masuk ke paru-paru kita. Lanjut. And because of this improper waste management, kita buang sampah sembarangan termasuk ke sungai, ke ocean. Sebenarnya ada studi yang mengatakan bahwa we actually have already consumed microplastics or even nanoplastics at the size of a credit card every week. And microplastics are already found in a mother's womb, and also in ASI or air susu ibu sudah ada microplastics or at least nanoplastics. Lanjut. And so what have we done so far? Well, the government, we have already signed the Paris Agreement, which was ratified through Undang-Undang Number 16, Nomor 16 2016, and we already we have given our commitment to the world to reduce the amount of emissions, to reduce emissions by 31.89%. Without international help, and 41.32% with international help until 2030, and we have already submitted to the UNFCCC our second NDC. That is our renewed commitment to reduce the greenhouse gas by a certain level between 2031 and 2035. And we already launched our national waste sorting movement, gerakan pilah sampah di beberapa daerah. Saya juga sudah mengunjungi beberapa daerah untuk bersama-sama masyarakat mencoba untuk memilah sampah. Belum terlalu signifikan, tetapi we have to start somewhere. Dan kita coba mulai dari langkah-langkah seperti ini. And the President Prabowo sudah menandatangani, he has already signed a presidential decree, Perpres nomor 109/2025, to construct WTE facilities or waste to energy facilities, which we plan to have about 31 to 34 WTE facilities across the nations, involving about 62 local governments and municipalities. So there are 2 batches that have been approved by the Danantara, meaning that the partners have been selected, and one was launched in Bali just a few weeks ago. And we have already put a stop to open dumping practices, so we no longer allow TPA or landfills untuk melakukan to do open dumping practices anymore. So waste cannot be managed through open dumping, but has to be managed through controlled landfill and also sanitary landfill. But unfortunately, most of our TPA or landfills across the nations are all open dumping, masih open dumping. Only a few places managed through sanitary landfills, like Kabupaten Aceh, Tamiang, Medan. I can't really read from here, but there's 5 that operates under the sanitary landfill. And nilai ekonomi karbon we just launched our SRUK, or that is our national carbon registry, and it was launched only last week, or I think 2 weeks ago. And this SRUK will manage, will track, and will record the full life cycle of all carbon units they're generated from or developed from projects in Indonesia. And hopefully after this carbon market bisa lebih develop lagi. Oke, lanjut. We also have revised our criteria, our assessment criteria for proper and also for Adipura. Proper is our award for companies, which incentivizes companies to go green, and also Adipura, which gives incentives for local governments and municipalities to be green. And for all of this, for each of these awards, we have already prioritized waste management in our award assessment criteria. Lanjut. And so, what can universities do? Well, actually, there's a lot of things that universities can do, and I think the connection between universities and environmental issues, can go back to as early as the beginning of academic life. So, if you think about the oldest university, one might say that click once, Università di Bologna. So, Università di Bologna is in Italy. It was constructed in 1088. You might think that this is the oldest university, and what others might say the oldest one. Okay, click might be next might be this Jamiat al-Qarawiyyin in Fes in Morocco, constructed in 859. But actually, the oldest university can go back to even earlier than that. Coba lanjut, click and click. One built by Aristotle, called Lyceum, or even older than that is by Plato, called Academia. And so it's quite interesting to note that Plato, in his conversations with another person, which was recorded in a book called Critias, he already talked about, he mentioned about a hill called Attica. And he said that this hill is in danger of deforestation and soil and land degradation. And so he started to analyze the impact to humans, especially those living downhill from where Attica was. Attica was on top of this village. And so he started to analyze, and then began to give recommendations on what to do and how to mitigate this effect. And so my point is that even for early academics or early university has already discussed about the danger of environmental degradation, and you can trace it back even as further as the earliest university built by Plato, the student of Socrates. First is Socrates, and then Plato, and then Aristotle. But Socrates, he never built a university. Only Plato and Aristotle built universities. And so I think I appreciate Universitas Airlangga. Saya baca-baca ini di internet, di malam sudah punya surat edaran tentang carbon neutral by 2030. So I wish I was there. Now I wanted to talk to you about this initiative and what can we do to contribute untuk menolong atau untuk bekerja sama untuk mewujudkan ini gitu. And I also read that Universitas Airlangga is actively participating in the IUCC dan mendapatkan ranking 1 ini ya dari Times Higher Education in SDG 8 Clean Water and Sanitation. Dan punya jurnal juga, 2 jurnal tentang lingkungan. Dapat predikat Eco Green Campus. You have solar panels, panel surya, and then you manage your waste through IPAL. Sudah ada pemilahan, waste sorting, waste sorting practices, berarti pengolahan limbah B3 juga ada. And it's interesting to note that you are also doing reverse osmosis. So I guess I wish I was there so I can talk to you more about that. But I think universities like Universitas Airlangga can do a lot, and you have done a lot basically, and we would like you to do more, and we appreciate what you have done so far. And so that you can continue the tradition that was once started by Play-Doh. Lanjut. Now, what can you do as students? Well, I guess it's very quite simple ya. Kalau bisa ya pakai transportasi umum, tapi nggak tahu kalau Surabaya transportasi umumnya bagus atau enggak ya. Kalau di Jakarta ada we have Transjakarta, we have MRT and LRT in Jakarta. So you can use public transportation as much as you can, or you can even walk to school or bike to school. And ada juga mungkin beberapa mahasiswa, a lot of students want to build or open up a new business, small scale businesses. And if you do that, if you open a new business, a small scale businesses, make sure you use local sources so that you can save emissions in terms of the logistics. And try not to be consumptive, the next thing is. Because the more you consume and the more waste you would generate. And also food waste. Don't forget that we are the 8th largest food waste according to UNEP. We generate about 40 million tons of food waste every year. And it's also irony, there's a lot of some people that nggak bisa makan ya, kelaparan, tapi we have one of the largest food waste in the world. Lanjut. And yang berikutnya mungkin this is the last point, what we can do. I'm sure all of you in that room and also in this room, basically we are all using AI, right, for our work. But you have to know also that AI does not come with, does not come free. It has some environmental costs also. So I got my catatan here. The AI, it consumes a lot of electricity, especially when it trains. So I wrote there it's 1,287 megawatt hour and 5.4 million liters of water. But that is only for when the AI is on training. That is for ChatGPT, the older version, but the newer version, GPT-4, when it trains, it consumes about 50,000 megawatts of electricity and 25,000 tons of CO2 generated, and also about 35 million liters of water. So that is a massive number. You can use that electricity to give electricity to thousands of people, thousands of households even, and you can give drinking water to thousands or hundreds of thousands of people per year. That is used for the AI to train. And if it were a country, if AI were a country, it would be the 4th largest country in the world in terms of electricity usage by 2030. So the point that I want to make is that we all use AI, but I think it's time also if we want to be a bit wise in our AI use because of the environmental costs that it entails. Lanjut. Okay, this is my last slide. I remember what Mahatma Gandhi once said, the world has enough for everyone's need, but not enough for everyone's greed. Dunia ini sebenarnya punya semuanya yang kita butuhkan. Itu tuh cukup. Tapi nggak akan cukup dunia ini untuk memenuhi keserakahan kita. Jadi kalau kebutuhan cukup, keserakahan tidak cukup. Ya lanjut, mungkin untuk menutup sedikit pantun, tapi pantunnya harus bahasa Indonesia, nggak bisa bahasa Inggris. Lanjut. Kukira sudah sampai Belgia. Ternyata masih di Kuningan. Lanjut, terima kasih Universitas Airlangga, semoga terus menjadi yang terdepan dalam isu lingkungan. Oke. Satu lagi coba pantunnya, klik lagi. Lanjut. Wah, aura kasih lagi nih. Aura kasih doyan makan kolak.
Cakep.
Sampai harus ke Italia.
Cakep.
Lanjut. Sekian dan terima kasih banyak. Semoga kita berjumpa lagi. Assalamualaikum.
Ya, sahabat, baru saja kita ikuti bersama Airlangga Forum edisi yang ke-282 dengan tema Minimalis versus Konsumtif, Seberapa Jauh Belanjaan Kita Merusak Bumi. Dan sahabat, mengutip apa yang sudah disampaikan oleh narasumber dalam sambutannya, Direktur Sekolah Pascasarjana Universitas Airlangga, Profesor Dr. Ahmad Husnu Romdhoni, Dokter Spesialis Ph.D.B.K.L, Subspesialis Onkologi Konsultan FICS, menyampaikan apresiasi tinggi kepada pemerintah kota Surabaya atas dukungan yang cukup konsisten yang telah diberikan selama bertahun-tahun. Beliau menekankan bahwa konsep dan inovasi pemerintah kota Surabaya dalam tata kelola digital terintegrasi, perencanaan kota berkelanjutan, serta kebijakan yang tangguh terhadap iklim sangat selaras dengan tema tahun ini. Kemudian narasumber lainnya ada Profesor Insinyur Muhammad Amin Alamsjah, M.Si, Ph.D, selaku Wakil Rektor Bidang Akademik, Kemahasiswaan dan Alumni Universitas Airlangga yang juga membuka The Sixth Summer School 2026, menegaskan pentingnya ide baru, kepemimpinan kolaboratif, serta komitmen global demi masyarakat yang berkelanjutan dan tangguh. Kemudian narasumber lainnya ada Bapak Diaz Faisal Malik Hendro Priyono, M.Sc, M.P.A, M.B.A, M.A, Ph.D, selaku Wakil Menteri Lingkungan Hidup Republik Indonesia, menekankan peran penting mahasiswa untuk menjaga, merawat, dan melestarikan lingkungan dengan mengajak mahasiswa untuk mulai menerapkan gaya hidup yang lebih ramah lingkungan dengan mengurangi perilaku konsumtif. Diaz menekankan bahwa perubahan sederhana dalam kehidupan sehari-hari dapat memberikan dampak besar terhadap lingkungan. Beliau juga mendorong kepada semua mahasiswa agar memanfaatkan transportasi umum, kemudian memilih produk lokal, serta mengurangi konsumsi yang tidak perlu. Diaz juga menyoroti terkait persoalan pengelolaan sampah di Indonesia. Beliau menyebutkan bahwa hanya sekitar 25% sampah yang berhasil dikelola setiap tahun. Sementara sisanya masih menumpuk di tempat pemrosesan akhir atau TPA tanpa pengelolaan yang optimal. Baik sahabat, demikian Airlangga Forum edisi yang ke-282. Dan saksikan serta ikuti terus Airlangga Forum setiap hari Jumat mulai jam 3 sore yang bisa Anda saksikan melalui kanal YouTube kami yaitu Sekolah Pascasarjana UNAIR dan ARA TV. Saya Ilham Dianto pamit. Terima kasih dan sampai jumpa.